Hey everybody, put your thinking caps on. It's time for the most intelligent podcast in the universe. That's right, you've showed up to the TUBCAST. My name is Eric, and as always, I'm joined by Kyle.
Hello.
And that's as always, it infers that whenever Jeremy's not here, I'm always joined by Kyle.
But you're always joined by me as well.
Yes. And just you. Oh, and Kuipers, he's here too.
Woohoo!
He's doing things. He's doing the knobbers and the dippers. The flippers. I don't know what, like, there's if you look at like a soundboard, there's all kinds of things on there. There's doodads and go-get-ears and
go-get-ears?
And
is that what?
Wiffle waffles.
And tiny cheeseburgers.
There are no tiny cheeseburgers.
Yep, sliders.
There's sneeze rockets.
Kuipers, I really hate you right now for that one, and I also love you.
Tiny.
That was pretty good.
But can't sliders be other things?
True, they can be chicken sliders as well.
Or like a little sandwich that's on a bun. Is it like just if it's on a small bun, it's a slider, right?
I think so.
Does that qualify as a slider?
A slider?
If it's on a small bun, is that a slider?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's a small bun. It's a sandwich on a small like a small ham sandwich would be a slider. We're serving sliders today. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that's the truth. I'm not getting a lot of pushback from either of you.
Right.
So I'm
looking it up, and apparently it's typically a steam grilled sandwich. That's a small size.
Steam grilled.
That's what they say. Like,
ew.
Steam
according
grilled.
to Wikipedia.
What does that even mean? A steam grilled sandwich? Like a panini press?
I guess.
Because I would think of it like when I think of steam grill, I would think of the way they warm your tortilla at like Chipotle. They put that tortilla on the big press thing, and then it's like, and the steam comes out. That's what I would think of. But if you put a sandwich in there, that would be bad. That sandwich wouldn't come out well. Yeah. All the goo would mush out, and the bread would be flat
Or moist.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, steamed bread. It seems like. I mean, it may not, but it seems like it would be. It would just be a moist bread that's just damp.
Damp bread.
Yeah.
Apparently, the term was originally created for White Castle, though. So
Sliders.
Yeah.
Sliders is a White Castle thing.
It's a pretty damp burger there.
Yep.
Dank and damp.
Have you ever been to White Castle?
No.
I've had the frozen ones.
Yeah, I've never had the real.
I went to
neither.
a Crystals one time when I was in Florida, and those are similar, but they're not the same. So
they're similar.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think of hot tip if you wanna get your tortilla fresh, like almost like a Chipotle or burrito joint would get it. You can you just get a paper towel and just drip a little water on that thing and get it just nice and moist, and then roll your tortilla up in that paper towel and then microwave it.
Okay.
There you go, bingo bango. You've got
tortilla.
A fresh, soft tortilla. Because it kind of has the same effect. It steams that tortilla.
Yeah,
in the microwave.
my wife did that.
Smart.
And
your wife sounds like an intelligent human.
She is. I was just too lazy most of the time. I'm just like, I gotta go get a paper towel, wet it, and wring it out. I could just throw the tortillas in there for 15 seconds, and we'd be good. But you're right. It is
not
better.
As good, though.
It is better when you've got that.
They're a little chewier, a little softer. It's all about mouthfeel for me,
It really is.
I want to enjoy my food. I want it to be at its prime, enjoyment.
Prime
potential.
Enjoyment potential.
Yeah, I want it there. I want to get it to that level. Get on my level, food. That's what I say a lot to my food.
Get in my belly. That's what I also say to my food.
And then get in my compost garden.
Yes. So that I can
eat you again.
Yeah. Okay. You thought much further down the path of the food circle of life than I was thinking.
Elton John taught me that.
I was just thinking about how weird it is that, you go and you buy food so that you can eat it and then eventually flush it down the toilet.
It's literally flushing money down the toilet.
You literally are, yeah.
That's why we should just all...
But it tastes better than paper and coins.
We should all stop eating. I mean, what good does it do us?
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no good.
There's some good, I think.
What if they're? But okay, so I mean, so most of the time you eat for enjoyment,
Right.
But then if you're like,
Well, I mean-
if you're trying to die, I mean, obviously you're eating to live because you're hungry.
Yeah,
But
I think
most of the
I
time,
think in this country,
For
it's
sure.
easy to think of it as eating.
that's the only reason people eat here.
Right.
Like the portions we get served, like that's it. And so
Right.
So if you take that element out of it and you say, well, I'm trying. Let's say you're trying to lose weight or something like that, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna just eat healthy stuff. Now, if you can't find healthy things that you enjoy as much as the unhealthy thing, then maybe you're saying, well, it's not. I'm not having the same enjoyment level with this
Right.
food. So, I guess what I'm saying at this point is, why not just make a pill that I could swallow that would get rid of all my cravings and make me feel full?
I think they make those.
I don't know if any
think
of
they're
that
called-
work.
I think they're called diet pills.
Yeah,
that
those
don't
are
always
those just
work.
have like ground up fish feces in them.
Right.
Like that's not those aren't real.
Just
Just saying.
There's those soylent.
Science.
Soylent. What is that? Like I
Soylent
think it's a
Green.
brand.
It's made out of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made out of people.
It's made out of people.
Right, I just think science has failed us at every corner. You know, every corner we turn, there are things that they do that are like amazing, but then you're like, well, this would be amazing too, but it doesn't seem as hard to figure out.
Why can we not have like pill-sized capsules that you chew
Or
taste,
swallow.
but like taste like whatever it is that you want to eat, so you get that experience.
But
it also like fills you up right away.
You don't even, but like, yeah, I feel like, you know, a lot of like the enjoyment of anything, whether it's food or drugs or roller coasters,
Go on.
it's all endorphins, right? It's all ways for your brain to like
Sure.
release, you know, a chemical reaction. So, I mean, really, you just need a pill that, you know, fools your body into feeling full and like tricking your brain into telling your stomach that it's full, and then it also gives you a little endorphin kick of like, ooh, this feels good, I'm eating something.
Sure.
And then you're done.
But
I'm
I mean,
sure
if we
maybe
are
that's
talking about
maybe that's
science-
cocaine. I don't know. I've never tried that.
If we are talking about science finding it, why can't science also break that where you take the pill and it tastes like something, you get that little bit.
You want the flavor.
There's your little bit of that
Kyle's
flavor
all-
and that,
he needs
that
the flavor.
dopamine fix.
Yeah.
And you get filled.
I would like to be clear for all of our audience that when we refer to science, it's a direct attack on Bill Nye, the science
Yes.
guy. He's responsible for all science
Yeah.
from
Bill,
the
get
dawn
it
of
together.
humanity. Figure it out, Bill.
We want these pills that'll make us not hungry.
We want pills, Bill.
Pills, Bill.
We want Bill's pills.
Pills. They're from science.
Well, I got some pills for
no.
you. No, I'm just kidding.
We've summoned Bill Chestnut.
Oh, no, Bill.
We don't want Bill Chestnut's
Bill, we don't
pills.
want your pills, Bill. But I got them off of a French prostitute in Ireland. Okay, Bill, you've
Bill,
intrigued
come
me.
on.
Well, why did you meet a French prostitute in Ireland? Well, you see here, they were serving French fried potatoes and they needed some, expertise in the kitchen, and there was a lady from France. All right, Bill, please
don't
leave.
understand
That doesn't make
that at
sense.
all.
I think he should probably...
I think he's on some of those pills. And
Yeah.
should stay away from the microphone for the rest of the evening.
Just please don't ask Bill for his pills unless it's
Oh.
Bill Nye. That's
Yeah,
the
Bill
science guy
Nye's-
that we're looking for.
Bill Nye's science pills.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I'm glad we could fix all the world's problems here in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Right.
That was
Taking care of business,
great.
as they say.
So Kyle, what is your life consisted of?
What has
in
my
the
life
past week?
consisted of? Well,
We saw a movie together.
we did see
it was
a movie
romantic.
together.
Kuipers was
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah, we broke bread as well together.
I
as
feel
they
like
say.
I would like to watch it again without being under the distress of being in pain
Yeah,
and
I think you need to-
bleeding.
We went and saw the Tarantino flick
Once upon a time in
Time
Hollywood.
in
Yes.
Hollywood. But I think that we need to hear Once Upon a Time in Omaha, the story of Eric's evening last Friday, before we talk about the actual movie.
Well, we had a lovely evening planned.
Mm-hmm.
A few of us were going to get together and go to a nice dinner at the Monster Club and then go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, my wife and I, we decided to go scooting.
Scoot.
The boot scooting boogie. You have the Lime and the other one,
Spin,
the coconut
I believe,
spin.
is the other one.
The
There's no
rental
coconuts.
scooters, the electric fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd check that out.
They're fun.
And they were fun until they weren't. So my wife and I we cruised around and we went all over. Went down by the river where my van is, and then
You went into a parking lot that had a bunch of bumps and
so yeah
things, right?
I went into the parking lot, and one thing, you got to watch the ground. You got to watch your environment.
Yeah.
I was in the front, my wife was in the back, and she hit a pothole and went flying off her scooter. It distracted me for sure. I was startled by that, and I tried to come to a stop so I could make sure she was okay.
But you didn't.
And it's like muscle memory. You're not like, if I had been more versed in these things, but I think it was overconfident.
What would you have done in a car?
Well, I would have hit the brakes and it just would have stopped,
Okay,
right?
Right.
And so in this scenario, I was new to the scooters,
Sure.
so I didn't have it down. I was surprised because I was a little hesitant at first, and then I got going. I'm like, oh, this is easy. This is great. I was fine. I was super, way overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so when it came to this,
It's easy to feel that way once you
once you get the hang
you're
of
on
it.
it.
But those things, like if you only have one hand on it, you can't go too fast because it's just gonna start wobbling like crazy, the handlebars. So I went for the brake, but also my head was turned looking back as I'm trying to brake, and I just lost control, and it was like wobba wobba wobba, and the thing went out from under me, and I was on the ground. It's one of those things where it was very painful. I tore my jeans. I don't know if people can even see this at home, but you can see some remnants of a scar of scabbing. I mean, on my arm, there's a Band-Aid there.
It'll be a sweet scar.
My side is all scabbed over and cut, like a side of my.
Oh, you actually
on my abdomen.
actually cut.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then both of my knees got it really bad, and then my knees still are just like on fire from it. Oh, they're giant pussy scabs.
Because those things, I mean, they could be they can get up to like 18 miles an hour on a flat surface.
I mean, if you're going downhill, maybe you get up that fast. I don't know if you could get. I could, like when I was going downhill, I think I got almost up to 19. But when I was cruising, it wasn't going much over 12.
Maybe it's 15 is what the max is supposed to be on a flat surface. I think I got it to about 20 on a downhill one time.
So, and that was the same. I think I was probably going somewhere around 12, 13 mile an hour when this happened, which you think like, oh, that's not very fast. But when you fall at that speed and you're a man of my stature, there's a lot of inertia that is, again, Mr. Bill and I would be able to explain this better. But I would say the inertia that was throwing me to the ground at, let's say 12 miles an hour was enough to jack me up pretty well.
Right.
So, I mean, they say you fall off the horse, you get back on the horse. I'm not willing to say I'll never do that, ride them again. I think it was fun. I just, I'll probably play it a little safer, be a little less confident in my skills that I obviously did not have.
Right.
So, I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm hoping, in the next few days, I'll feel better.
It'll catch you at first.
Yeah,
that would be something that would put me off of them for a little bit.
I see why people are throwing them in the rivers.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't think there've been any that have been thrown
Not
in our
here,
rivers.
No, but like in San Francisco, they throw them in the bay, and I think also in Portland, people have been throwing them.
Yeah.
In
which it's like
the water.
Yeah, that's not
rude.
That's not how you fix the problem. That just makes another problem.
Yeah, you're like
throwing batteries into the ocean.
Yeah,
that's a real good idea.
Seems like it might hurt the fishies. That was my weekend. So then I just kind of stayed at home and felt sorry for myself for a couple days there. Then we did see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which we'll just spoil it now. No, I'm just kidding. We won't. It had Brad Pitt and Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio.
You know, that picture that Kuiper's just pulled up here with DiCaprio in that gold turtleneck, was he ever even in that in the movie?
I don't think he was.
I don't think I think these are promotional shots that
Maybe.
or like maybe they were from deleted scenes or whatnot, but I don't recall. Like, I remembered seeing this picture beforehand, and I don't recall seeing that in the movie.
But there were a lot of scenes in that movie. I mean, there was a lot. Like, he could have been in that for an instant, and we wouldn't.
That's true.
He might not
it might have been that he was in that. Maybe when he was in the restaurant with Pacino at the beginning.
A lot of actors in this. I mean, it's definitely one of those kind of. I mean, I've heard people call it, his masterpiece. I've heard some people not like it.
They're wrong.
It's like a majority of Tarantino's movies are. I'm trying to think of how to put this in a very sensitive and PG way. Let's just say they all are working towards a climax, and that's definitely like there's a crescendo that happens in his films, and like anything, when you're starting at it and you're working at it and you're trying to build up to the crescendo, it starts slow.
Well, to clarify, I mean every movie should have that climax point, but Tarantino's are like an extra level of just like what just happened. Like,
but I think that's why I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not like every movie though, because most movies they ramp up to something, or they
lead
have
to like the point of the movie, and the climax with Tarantino's doesn't always seem like it's the point of what the story was even about. It's just like the thing that happened.
Yeah, I could see that. I think what I'm trying to say is they're. I mean, you watch a movie and you can go, okay, well, there's highs and lows, right? And I think sometimes people, at least with Tarantino's movies, it is all uphill. It's like that's kind of, and then there's just one big, and then it just drops off and it's done. It's just like there's no like up and down, up and down, up and down. No, it's rarely that. It's just like, here we go, clink, 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 clink. Like that's just kind of, and so I think that's why sometimes those payoffs feel so much more substantial.
He does a really good job
of ramp up
of putting that tension of that end goal that he's trying to be like knock your socks off with. You can see it coming, but you don't know what it's going to be.
Well, and in the case of this and Inglourious Bastards, it's a retelling of history. Like it's not, it's his own version of a historic event. And some people might say, oh, well, it's boring, or it's slow, or it's this, or it's that. But for me, like he's like the dialogue he writes is always so captivating. The way he weaves story is very captivating. I don't know. It's really good. I mean, I'd love to watch it again.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. One of the guys that I work with, I know he went and saw it this weekend, and I was talking to him on Monday a little bit about it, and he goes, it was something that I hadn't really picked up on, but it's really just a Western in a modern setting, or a more modern setting is what this story was, because you've got your sheriff and his deputy, and the story of them kind of coming to terms with the fact that they're being kind of pushed out of the position that they're in, which very much fits a lot of the Westerns, which is the interesting part about half of the stuff that his character does is Westerns. Yeah. So, and I mean, it was just the era and the way that television was made and everything else. I love the way that there's just like this special amount of detail that Tarantino put into this, so that when it put you into clips that looked like you're watching like clips from the TV show that he's in or the movie that he's in, it looks like it's from that era. Like you're like, how did they superimpose him into this movie? Or like it looks so authentic to that time period, which is really, really cool.
Well, and even the way that they would painstakingly build these sets, and like downtown Hollywood looked like it did in the late 60s, and just like I heard him say in an interview that they, even to the extent where they would put, like, maybe you'd see a car driving down the street in front of a storefront, and like in that storefront there's probably like a magazine or something in there that was made just for this movie. Like it's
Right.
down to just every inch of it, which is, it's crazy. You just don't see. I mean, he shoots on film. He doesn't rely on digital effects that much. I mean, obviously there are, but he goes practical wherever he can. So it's an art form that I'm not trying to say, oh, we've lost the art form, but it definitely is something that you just don't see practiced in modern film. So
yeah, there's
kind
like
of a treat.
There's a level, and I think that's part of the reason that he's been as successful as he has with like the gratuitous amount of language and violence in his movies that may not necessarily work for a lot of other directors because of the fact that there is the art that is with them. It's a spectacle to behold. All of his movies are. Is this supposed to be the last one that he's doing, that he's writing and directing like this? Or
No, he's supposedly one more,
supposed
and
to
then
be
he's
one
going to
more?
retire.
Okay. Which wouldn't be the Star Trek one. That's just one that he would be like writing, or is he?
I don't know. Like that's not. So there's rumors around that. There's rumors around a Kill Bill 3.
Okay.
There's other, and then like there's also a rumor that it's another. I mean, just another original film that he's going to do. So we don't know at this point. He's not talking about it, and he's being very. I mean, I've seen in interviews where people have asked him, and he just dodges the question. Yeah. So. I don't know what he's going to do. It's crazy to think he's going to retire, but you can just sense by everything that went into this. I mean, this movie is such a love letter to early or Hollywood of that era of his, like when he was growing up, and it's a love letter to that. And you just realize like his knowledge and passion and all of that just comes out in this film, and they have so many callbacks to old TV shows and stuff where I'm even just like, man, I thought I knew a lot of this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not getting most of these references, like they're over my head. And it's just cool to see him. He's got such a library of knowledge about that stuff, and just him to just get to pour it all in this movie. Maybe it's a little self-indulgent at times. I definitely felt that, where it's like, okay, I get it. Like you're really pouring into this part, like where something he really likes. I've heard some people didn't love the way he, his interpretation, at least, of Bruce Lee. Like I think Bruce Lee's daughter was kind of outspoken about that. But I mean,
it's an alternate timeline.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can't take it.
It's part of the universe where Hitler got killed by a bomb. That Brad Pitt's ancestor decided to set up.
That he died in a movie theater.
Right.
And that's the thing, is it's like Quentin can get away with some of that, I think, because that's what he can fall back on. Like, obviously this isn't a historic story. I'm not trying to tell a historical story. The other thing about it though is just the way he just meticulously will take time and just, I don't know, in the YouTube era where you watch something that's just like cut together with all these quick cuts, and they try to get to the point as fast as they can, and it's just boom, 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 boom. Seeing something like this where it's painstakingly put together, he might just pan a camera for like, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds on just a piece of art or something like that, and you're just sitting there going, wait, what are we doing here? And it's not really building to anything. It's just like, it's almost like he's trying to force you to just sit, like just slouch down in your chair, just get into this, sit in your chair and just soak it in, and like calm down, like turn your brain off to the world, like just watch this movie. Like he's trying to get you there.
There's a big difference between what he does with drawing out the scenes the way that he does, and like the way that television almost of that time period would. Because like if you go back, and I'm only thinking about it because I just watched them in the last couple of years, the original Star Trek series. Went back and watched those. I watched those a lot when I was a kid. I never realized how slow there are like these lingering moments where you're looking
man,
at
that
something and you're
first
just like,
Star Trek movie is
yeah, but
so
I mean,
bad.
the television show was just as bad because it's almost like, hey, we've got this story that maybe is only 30 minutes, 35 minutes, but we've got to stretch this to the 40 minutes so that it can fit for television. And so there's just, and I don't know, maybe some of it is that there's like the idea of getting like the facial recognition on every person in the room before then some type of reaction
but it's
happens.
just so slow. It was like at that time they thought people couldn't take it all in if it was faster, you know.
And it may not have even been that. It may have just been that, man, this is fast, and this is what technology is, and this is how we've got it. And maybe some of it was to help with editing too, because the longer you hold on something, the easier it is to splice stuff together. But with his, it's like it is very specific. You're looking, and I don't know, maybe I feel like ever since like the later half of his movies have definitely felt like there is more of a artistic form that he is putting out there than some of his earlier movies that were just like, hey, here's this action story that he kind of throws at you that you're like, whoa, this was an experience. And like I just think of like the way that he held out Inglourious Bastards, that first 20 minutes where you've got the family that's underneath the deck or underneath the floorboards, and the whole time you're sitting there going, this guy's got to know that they're down there, and that's why he's holding them there. And he literally holds you there for like 30 minutes in that scene, and it's just something that does not feel like it's that. It felt like it was like maybe 10 minutes at most, and you look at your DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you're watching it on, and it's like, holy crap, that was 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's he's got a talent. I think he's always, but his movies have always had this type of pacing. Like he just, I mean, even back to like Reservoir Dogs, it's the same thing. Like
maybe I'm just thinking of these other ones because I've seen them more recently.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think well, if you're talking about the movies he's directed and written, like I think they all kind of have similar pacings. Anyways, I think it's great. I mean. It's weird because I think the reason people would call it his masterpiece is because of how self-indulgent he is in this. Like, I feel like a lot of it is him going, hey, these are the things I really, really like. And I don't know. He's of a different generation. He doesn't, there's stories of how he doesn't allow, like if you bring a cell phone on his set, you're fired, like immediately. Just things like that where it's about the process for him, everything. I don't know. And he's just good at it. I don't know, people will probably, I'm just going to be an old man shaking my fist at the sky, I guess, as all this type of filmmaking goes away, and then we'll have the next new thing. I like other things, but it's like the idea that maybe I'll only get one more of his movies in my lifetime is really a bummer.
I really just hope that Star Trek movie of his also comes through.
I will say, as a big Timothy Olyphant fan, I was very excited for him to be in a Tarantino film, and I felt like he got a little underused.
He did.
That was my biggest complaint.
My biggest complaint was his hair.
His hair was bad.
It looked so bad.
But that's also like a product of them trying to portray him as this budding 70s star. Like he had that was kind of the hair. So I mean, I get it, but yeah, you're right.
But I mean Pitt and DiCaprio's hair looked great, and he had that like matted down cowboy hat hair that was just terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
Lechuga King, welcome to the chat. You'll have to take matters up with Kuipers about the bathwater.
He's still waiting for the water, Kuipers.
You'll have Kuipers, get on that.
Have you taken a bath recently?
I told him I take showers, and I offered shower water, but no feedback yet.
Okay. Midnight Angel is also in the chat. Says I want to watch it since it's Quentin Tarantino. That's a
you should watch
accurate statement.
It's good. He's gotten some pushback. He's gotten some some negative reviews and saying,
I just don't understand negative reviews for it.
This is, I don't know. A lot of it is, I mean, it borders on the whole, well, this is if he's going to remake, history, then he should change more about it. And people are upset about Margot Robbie's part and how underutilized she is, and just stuff like that. And it's like, okay.
But
I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
I mean,
It
at
feels
the
like
end
a lot of that kind of serves a
at
purpose.
the end of the day, the story was about DiCaprio's character and his buddy.
Yeah.
Like that's what the whole story was about. It wasn't about Sharon Tate. She's accessory to the story because she's his next door neighbor, you know, like, and it's all the time period. But I mean, like, that's the thing. I think people were too, I mean, that thought that she was underutilized, or that they wanted more of her, probably just were anticipating it was entirely going to be about her.
Well, I think it almost felt like maybe I was being oversensitive, but like because of all of that pushback that people have given him about, hey, you're being kind of an old school boys club director by, just your leading lady, not really using her, and like not giving her many lines and all this stuff. Like they're giving him a bad time about that. I felt like, was I like getting? Okay, I don't know how to explain this, but the trailers before that movie were almost all like women empowerment films. Like, and I was like, wait, what is going on? Am I getting like, did they do this intentionally?
I'm trying to remember what trailers,
because there was like that trailer for The Hustle, which was about a bunch of strippers who were like
with
robbing,
Cardi B
like,
and J-Lo or something.
Yeah, and they're like robbing Wall Street dudes.
Right.
Then there's that one based on the comic book with Melissa McCarthy, and it's all about
the
women
gangsters that like their husbands get put away and they
Yeah.
decide they're going to take things into their own hands.
And then so it's like there's like all these trailers.
I didn't even catch that.
Charlie's Angels as
And
well.
Charlie's
That's right.
Angels was on there, which oh gosh, that looks awful. And so like, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, am I being like way too oversensitive about this right now? Am I a bad person? But this feels like they're trying to make up for all the bad publicity around this movie, and they're like, hey, let's put all these like, I don't know.
I just sometimes with that stuff, it's like there's to be that critical of something. Number one, the actress signed up and said, yes, pay me to be in this movie. They can turn those roles down if they want to. Number two, if it is something where there's something that got cut, if you're reading a script, you've got to look at that and be like, I could see where certain things are going to get cut. She read that script, and she would have known that it was a story about these two, and she's a supporting character in the movie. She's not the main part of the story. So, like, that kind of thing doesn't... Sometimes I think people just want to react because it's something that's cool to react about right now, is that she got snubbed or whatever. And I don't think that was... Maybe the timepiece and her playing Sharon Tate made it seem like there was supposed to be more of a focus on her than there really was with what the story was that he was trying to tell.
Yeah, and I think people might have gone in thinking that the whole Manson family thing would play more of a role in the film, which it didn't. I mean, it played a big role, but that wasn't the focus of the film.
Because I think you'd even said something at one point that got me think. I hadn't even thought that it was going to be as big a role or a big a part of the movie, because it just wasn't really in the trailers. It was just all about these two dudes. And then you said, well, I mean, there's Manson in it, so who knows what you're going to get with that. Yeah. Which made me go, oh, maybe there's going to be more this or that in it, and it wasn't that movie that I think some people may have expected.
No, I think I mean it's definitely a Tarantino film.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's definitely, I mean, if you think there's not going to be violence in it, then
you're mistaken.
Yeah, you're mistaken. Anyways, and that's the thing, is an actor and actress or whoever, if they're getting the offer to be casted in a Tarantino film, the majority of Hollywood would consider that completely insane to not do it if your schedule allowed. Like, sure. I mean, that's like Scorsese or any number of other directors of this caliber. You just, you don't. I mean,
you could almost argue that the hits that he has had and not having swing and misses the way that even I think even Scorsese's had some movies that have not performed as well or been received as well overall. And I think Tarantino just is, maybe because he knows what he wants to write and is very particular, and he only is directing those movies, or he's very particular about anything that he directs. Otherwise, it just puts him in that very, very special league.
Yeah. And I mean, they can't all be that way. That's just the thing. Like, he only made 8 movies so far or 9 movies in his lifetime so far.
Right.
And it's like there's a lot of movies out there. They can't all be that. So, whatever. All right, we've belabored the point of
Kuipers,
this movie.
did you give it a thumbs up?
Well, yeah, Kuipers. 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, thumbs down.
2 thumbs up.
Yay!
2 thumbs up. Yay, Eric.
This
I'm guessing yours. Oh, go ahead, Kuipers. I
was going to say this was actually my first Tarantino film I've seen.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
We need to
give you an education.
We need to give you an education.
Trust me, I've had roommates who have tried as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool though. I'm glad that you. So here's the thing though. I feel like people I've met in the same boat are typically, and I mean you're younger, so maybe I'm thinking of people who would be older than you, but they're like, if they hadn't seen the Tarantino flick, and at this point they have only have preconceived notions of what those are, and they wouldn't even go into the theater to try to watch it. Like, they wouldn't even give it a shot. So I mean, I'm applauding you for at least giving it a shot. That's good. That's awesome.
Like it was a good movie. Like, there was a couple moments where I kind of felt like, I feel like this, from what I know of Tarantino, this is probably definitely a Tarantino moment. But overall, though, it was still a good movie.
Yeah. It is.
He gave it 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I mean, okay.
I give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know if can we speak for Jeremy?
He fell asleep.
He gave it a thumb up, maybe.
I don't know. I'm curious because didn't he? I was on the other end of the.
He was sitting between
aisle,
me and Kuipers,
and he fell asleep. Right? Did you guys?
Oh yeah.
Did you guys try to wake him up, or you just let him snore?
I elbowed him a couple times.
Did you?
As soon as I heard noises, I was like, "Okay, come on, cut it out, man. I'm watching Tarantino here."
Well, like, there were a couple times where you were.
I feel really bad about throwing him under the bus, but he won't ever listen to this episode.
There was a couple times where you reacted to stuff that I was like, are you trying to get someone's attention? Because I felt like it wasn't a moment that deserved as much reaction as you gave it. And I'm like, and then I put it together and I was like, are you trying to wake up Jeremy?
No, I probably was just me reacting.
Oh,
to
okay,
things.
great. I was like,
I find humor in little things that a lot of other people don't. So.
Yeah, no, it did have a lot, and that's the thing is, like, you kind of have to have a dark sense of humor sometimes in these movies because there are just some goofy things happening.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many little things that even down to like the one chick that Brad Pitt like sees and is attracted to, like the hippie culture that they were showing off, and she's got armpit hair hanging out in her tank top or whatever. That's just like, it's just ridiculously authentic to the time period, and so many little things that you're just like, man.
Kyle was really disturbed by the armpit.
No, I wasn't. It was like they had shots where they distinctly left it there so that you did not miss it.
Yeah. Midnight Angel says he's never saw Hateful Eight. It was good one. It was a good one too. No, I don't think he has. Kuipers, I wouldn't start there though. I feel like if we're gonna start drinking, Hateful Eight's great. But man, I feel like go back to like Pulp Fiction maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking Inglourious Bastards.
See, that's going to be in this more of a modern Tarantino era, so it's going to have much more.
I feel like
it's definitely one of my favorites.
The most comparative almost to this one.
In some ways, yeah.
There's
bigger moments in that one throughout.
Definitely bigger moments, but there are a lot of really slow, drawn out.
I think that the pacing of it is I would almost say the pacing of Inglourious Bastards is a little better than this movie.
Yes.
Because it's telling a different story. And so there's more drama about Leo's character and him feeling washed up and all of that.
Whereas Inglourious Bastards is like it's almost like 4 different films, 4 or 5 like mini films that intertwine and
a lot of different storylines.
Reach the ending point where everything collides.
But yeah, I would definitely say, like, I mean, if you're just gonna skip around, I mean, Reservoir Dogs is great too. That's his
Reservoir
first.
Dogs,
That's
I
like
think, was
the
the
one
that was
he
the first one that I saw.
Yeah, that's the first he wrote and directed. But yeah,
I think there still is one that I haven't seen, one or two maybe.
Pulp Fiction is, I would say, go see Pulp Fiction and see Inglourious Bastards, and then if you like those, I mean, check out Kill Bill. It's like Volume 1, Volume 2, so that's a longer one, but those are really good. I don't know. Jackie Brown is probably one of my least favorites.
I have not seen that one yet.
It's still really good. Django is definitely probably. See, that's a hard thing. Like, if I were to before, I don't know where this movie falls in line with me, but like if you would ask me what's my top 3, it would have been Django, Inglourious, and then number 1 would be Pulp Fiction. But I don't know.
I need to go back and watch Pulp Fiction again.
It's
been
that.
so long.
I mean,
don't
that was a
remember
formative
all of
movie
it.
for me, though.
True.
I always tell people, if you want to understand, like, my taste, as when I was in like the 8th grade, I saw Star Wars for the first time, and I saw Pulp Fiction, and it kind of informed my view on film.
Ironic that those are the two series or like types of films that you have to see in the theater night number 1.
Oh yeah.
No one tell me anything or I
can't.
will murder you.
Yeah. Tarantino flicks and Star Wars.
Tarantino and Star Wars. Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
that's really interesting.
It was a formative time in my life, and I think both of those films just like
they've just got a special place.
Have
for
a grip on me. Yeah. That and Back to the Future, but if you remake that, I'm gonna go protest. We really stayed on that a long time. Let's talk a little bit more about some other things we've been doing.
Yeah.
While we're The Boys. We mentioned this. I feel like this was a little under the radar.
It was.
And then there was a trailer, and then boom, now it's out.
Yeah, it was
on
like
Amazon Prime.
Maybe 3 or 4 months ago that I think that it first got announced. Maybe it was even closer than that.
Yeah.
It
was.
I haven't
watched much
finished
of it?
I watched the first couple episodes.
Okay. So there's 8 episodes. It's a shorter run.
It's another one of those with a lot of violence.
Amazon Prime.
Stuff.
Way more violence.
Yeah.
It's like almost gratuitous. At points.
And I'm sure that there is probably a lot more.
Yeah.
The first couple episodes have a couple moments that are just like, whoa.
Yeah. It is so well done. I don't know how this just came out of left field. Like I mean, I've never heard of The Boys. I think it's based on a comic, right?
It's a comic series. I hadn't heard about it before the trailer came out either.
And the way that this is like filmed, the special effects in it are just stellar. Like, they're so well done. The acting is really, really, really good. And it's an Amazon Prime series, which there's not a lot of those I love Marvelous Miss Maisel. Like, that's great. But I haven't really clung to a lot of the Amazon series, and this is just.
I think the only one that I've really latched onto with Amazon is the Tick, which this almost feels. It's interesting seeing that they're both on the same platform, and seeing how the Tick kind of has they film that in a way that it almost has some of that like that network cheese smeared across the camera as you're watching it, that you're just like, this just doesn't look as sharp as you would expect. It's well written, and it's a funny show. This almost feels like this is like what you would get if you had somebody that came in and reworked the Tick as a really good dark show about superheroes.
Doom Turkey excels in the chat. Says, you seem like the type of dudes that have pepperoni nipples.
I think you've been here before, Doom Turkey. I think you've said that before, actually.
Well, he knows. Yeah. He knows dudes with pepperoni nipples.
Yep. You got us.
If you're okay with some violence and some language,
and some nudity,
there's a little bit of that.
There's a little bit of that.
And it's incredible. It's really good. It kept my attention. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I tend to kind of rate things like, can it keep my phone out of my hands? And I would say about 80% of the time, my phone was not in my hand. So, hey, good job. Good on you.
Yeah.
That should be my review of most TV series is how little did I look at my phone.
Right. There you go. I give it a 5 looks at my phone.
Yeah. So
the higher the number, the worse it is.
Yeah.
I had 100% phone time on that seat. No. But it's really good.
It is.
If you're into the violence and... I mean, the whole premise is that there's like these superheroes that are corrupted, and nobody sees it.
Yeah, it's like they're pretty much based on like your Superman, Wonder Woman type characters, the Flash,
the Avengers.
type of thing.
Or you're right. They are very
much
very
more DC. Yeah. And then there's they're called the Seven, which are like this group of
Justice League
superheroes and.
In the comics, though, apparently, like I have a friend who has actually read the comics as well as watched the show. He says they're different, but the show's really good though too.
Yeah.
But there is like an X-Men type group, like a Avengers type group, Fantastic Four. Like,
and maybe that's something
that
they delve into
later seasons.
Later seasons. Yeah, because they do hint to the fact that this corporation is sponsoring all these superheroes across the nation.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of that weird dark turn that you're like, you look at the idea of what when you've got like politicians that are supposed to be looking out for people's best interests and the way that the politicians act. If you had a superhero that was out there that was supposed to be like protecting people and looking out for people's best interests, if they're people, they're probably going to be like the superheroes in this show that just are. And I'm the superhero, so just do what I tell you to do.
And it's when they're trying to get a point across about how bad some of these people are. There are moments in this series where I don't know that I have felt more like just disgusted and disturbed and upset like at a character. And how many episodes are you in?
I'm 2 in.
Oh, okay.
I just finished the second episode.
There is. You've got something coming later, but there are just these things where these characters will do the most just horrendous acts that are just like gut wrenching, and like you're just like, how could they do this? And they make you hate these people so much, and that you just are easily rooting for the boys. Anyways,
well, I mean the whole thing that sets everything into motion. Is like extremely disturbing and just like like.
And I even saw that you see that part in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even expecting it when it happened.
I know.
And
I had completely forgotten. I was like,
they did such a good job of bringing me into these characters so quick and making me feel like I cared about them, like right out the bat. I was like, and then they do that, and I'm like, wait, what? Right. Like how did this? Anyways, I feel like you just spoil it if you talk about it.
It maybe helped that I had seen the trailer so far back that I didn't really remember much in the trailer. Yeah. But yeah, I was taken aback too. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, check it out if you can tolerate that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, in the video game world, Wolfenstein Young Blood's out. That game freaking sucks. So don't waste your time on that.
You don't like it?
Oh my gosh, it is. I have beaten my head against that game, and it's fine. Like I love Wolfenstein and Wolfenstein 2.
What I've only gotten maybe a couple hours into it, like the very
just
first
makes me angry.
Main mission. What is it that is it like the difficulty or something about the way that
it's not fun. It's
moves?
Boring. It's repetitive. You have skill trees. You can upgrade your your character. You play with one of two sisters. Maybe in co-op it would be more fun, but I still think it would just be like an elaborate phone call at that point where I'm just like distracted while I talk to somebody. Like it's just so they reuse they try to make it an open world game. So once you get past the first boss, it opens up and it's pretty much an open world.
That's kind of where I'm at is just past that.
And at that point, which even that first boss is a little cheap, and that kind of annoyed me.
That took me a while to get past it. I was like, "What?"
It was way too hard for the first boss to throw at you. Anyways,
it almost felt like it was something where they wanted to show you kind of an end game, and then they I don't know. It's weird the way that they've kicked the story out.
So I mean, the coolest part about it, I think, is the upgrade path for your character because you do get some neat abilities, but the environment is so bland. Like the most interesting part is kind of you're in like this catacomb area under like in the underground of Paris, and that area where your main base is more interesting than to me the rest of the environment of the game. Like the rest of it is kind of either you're like in like almost like a subway tunnel, or you're in like streets of Paris, and it's like, and they're very confined, and they're very repetitive. All the buildings look very similar, and then there's some interior places with that, but everything just feels very cut and paste. And the other side of it is if you, let's say you fast travel somewhere and you just killed all the enemies in that area, but you're trying to maybe backtrack to something, they're all back there again. They've all respawned again. And it takes a while to kill them all. And it's just, the gunplay is fun, but it's not that fun. Like to make me do it over and over again.
Yeah, it's almost like it. I mean, to me, it seems like the gunplay. It doesn't feel as rewarding, as having BJ. For what I don't know. There's something that just feels like it's different in the way that it handles.
I mean, it's not.
Weird.
I think the part about Wolfenstein, like 1 and 2, is the story grabs you, and it's so good, and you're like, oh, I've got this great story, and I've got fun gameplay, and I'm seeing some unique environments. I'm going through this thing, and it's like, so. I realized though, I put 2 and 2 together, and maybe this solidifies it for me that maybe I just don't like what this studio does, and that is Arcane Studios. They're a Bethesda studio. They made the Prey games. I'm not fans of either of the Prey games.
There's more than one Prey game?
Oh. Well, there's Prey, and then I'm thinking of the DLCs. That was kind of a big release.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't realize.
No. I'm thinking of. I know what I'm thinking of. What's the other game they made? They made 2 of them. Dishonored. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Dishonored and Prey. Those are the 2 I was thinking of. I'm not big fans of either of those.
Okay.
And they worked a lot on this game, and it's like some of that stuff they like the open world gatekeeping sort of gameplay, and it drives me nuts. I don't enjoy it. I don't like to have to rehash things I've already done. Like that just annoys me. If it was like just stellar top tier best shooter action, like that would be a lot of fun, and I'm okay redoing some of that. But when they're just gonna make me go revisit these areas every time I have to spawn into another mission in this open world that's not very big, it's just gotten under. I'll probably bang my head against it a few more times and see if I break through and start to enjoy it.
It's supposed to be a shorter game.
Yeah, I think they said it's maybe 6
like,
to 8 hours or something like that, and that's.
I think How Long to Beat said the average was like 8 hours.
Yeah,
8 or 9. So.
And I've probably put 4 hours into it. I don't know. I'm not enjoying it at all right now. So I'm not trying to discourage anyone from checking it out. That's just my personal review of it at this point. 4 hours in, no, thank you. And you're not very far.
I'm not very far into it at all.
I'll be curious to see. Maybe it's something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something you'll like, and you can tell me why I should like it. You played a little bit. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing that I would say with it that it just doesn't quite feel like the other games. I don't know if it's because there's something about the swagger of like feeling like you are stepping into the shoes of BJ Blazkowicz versus his daughters, that there's like the weird like thumbs up to your sister to give yourself instant health is kind of bizarre, or like the different things that you can set up, which I don't know what the other later game upgrades that you can get.
Well, they tried to make it a little more RPG-ish, and it's got that like almost Destiny-esque thing of, hey,
it's always live. You can't pause it.
You've gone into it, because of the multiplayer aspect, but you've gone into an area where the enemies are too tough for you, and they just have skulls. And it's like, okay, I get that when it serves a point into the game, but it's just a weird gatekeeping, and I don't appreciate it for this game. It just doesn't feel like it fits. And I think that's maybe where and maybe they're just experimenting to see which direction to take the next Wolfenstein in. But I don't know.
I'd say the next Wolfenstein, just do what you did with the first 2. Like,
right. But I'm
get a good story, tweak things so that they feel.
I get that they
as
don't want
tight
that
and
to be
everything.
Stagnant though, because
Yeah.
I could see how people might not have enjoyed
Sure.
Wolfenstein 2 because it is repetitive, but at least for me, they gave you interesting environments to go to and a really stellar story that they
Right.
told, which is rare in video
I got
games.
a fantastic achievement for
Yeah.
kicking Hitler while he was down.
So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. You played a little bit of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch.
I think
How's
based
that?
on like looking at walkthrough levels, I'm about halfway through. It's fun. I mean, it's the same type of thing that the other ones were. So if you like Marvel, if you like that kind of, I think it's been compared to all I can think of is Doom, but it's not that hell game. What's that other one?
Diablo?
Diablo, yeah. It's kind of got that top-down Diablo. You pick 4 characters
So that was
as you go.
That was the one thing that I drew, like, kind of made it appealing to me. I haven't played it.
Did you play either of the other ones?
No.
Okay.
I just the other ones were like, I don't know. This seems like it's much more of a beat 'em up, or were the other ones like the same type of beat 'em up? And
Yeah.
see, that's the stuff is like, I don't like that type of gameplay usually, where it's
Sure.
just like over and over you're just fighting these things, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
There is some of that. There's like a special area that you can go into where you find like these rifts. So then you can go and do these challenges that are more beat 'em up type of stuff. But like if you unlock all of them, then you can unlock.
Seems like the
some
co-op
secret
is
characters
cool
and
because you
stuff.
can kind of chain different attacks
Yeah.
together with
Yep.
other heroes
So
and stuff like that.
that's one of the
Seems
things
cool.
that at least I didn't play the first game, but the second one, if you team different people up, they have different combined skills that you can use with them. So and then you can get different bonuses based on who you have. Like everyone has like certain things that make them a team. So like if you've got 4 female characters, then you get a bonus for the Women of Marvel. If you've got all Avengers, you get an Avengers bonus. So you can kind of interchange your teams and try to find somebody that'll work. And it also has leveling up with all the characters. So if you don't level up, like there are certain levels that you have to be at to be able to like get through the mission.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you like, I've got Hulk and Spider-Man and Deadpool and Iron Fist that I've been playing with the most right now. And if you don't have them all kind of at that level that they need to be, you can't I couldn't just go and grab Captain America because I haven't played with him at all. And he's like a level 6, and the missions that I'm on are like level 25.
So it doesn't do you the favor of like scaling everyone up so you
Right.
could switch later on.
So part of the reason I think that they do that is so that then you go in and play these Infinity like realm challenge things
to level those
characters up.
So
because that's an easy way to do that.
The Diablo comparison was what kind of got me close to buying the game, and then I started reading some reviews, and when I realized that the drops and the looting are pretty inconsequential to the gameplay, that's where I was kind of like, oh,
They are.
okay, that's where I was like immediately turned off because it's like that's the
right.
to me, like anything like even. I mean,
that
like,
is the appeal of Diablo.
That's the appeal of Diablo. Those types of games, a looting game,
because those will give you like different like weapons or things like that,
whether
right?
it's cosmetic or
Yeah.
it's makes you more powerful.
Right.
And like, I get it that doesn't necessarily make sense for this because
Sure.
like a superhero, hey, I'm Wolverine, I
Right.
got claws, like that's what I do. Like, what are you gonna give
Yeah.
me, super claws? Like, no, it's just
So what it drops is, and it's something that seems like it's pretty consistent across like a lot of mobile games that I've tried for Marvel and other Marvel games. They've come up with this thing called ISO 8, and it's like these different colored gems that aren't like the Infinity Stones, but they're like things that'll like upgrade your powers so that you have 8% better medium hits versus your heavy hits or whatnot. So there is some of that. There is also the Infinity trials that you get. They also allow you to like get different costumes and stuff for your characters. So like I went through one of them last night and unlocked a original gray Hulk. So that was kind of cool.
Wow, what an exciting color!
Right. But that's
Now
what
Hulk
that's what
can
the
be
original
gray.
Hulk was
That's
gray
because
in
the
the
TVs
first
were
comp.
black and white.
Because the TVs were black and white, he was gray in the comic book with the gold and red Iron Man.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna steer clear of it.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
doesn't
not
sound
for
like
me.
it's the type of game
Yeah.
for you. I mean, it's. I think it's a game that one, if you're into that beat 'em up type of thing and having those trial challenges
Yeah.
that you can continue to go in and try to best and try to level up, 20 different characters. Go for it. Or if you're a really big Marvel fan, it's fun. Even if you're just kind of, I mean, I think some of the appeal of this series has always been, hey, I can pick 4 different people from anything in Marvel. What would this team up look like if I had Wolverine hanging out with these 3
That's
characters?
still the only part that I'm like kind of clinging to. Like that does
Sure.
sound fun. Like being able to mix some of the X-Men with the other Marvel heroes, and like I mean, I could have Wolverine,
Right.
I could have Star-Lord to get like that's a pretty good pairing for me right there. Wolverine, Star-Lord, Deadpool, even, and
Right.
Rocket Raccoon. I would want to play with those 4.
Rocket Raccoon is one of the most disappointing characters in the
Aw,
game because
why?
he and Groot are the same character. So, like the weapon that Rocket has, he is the not the heavy damage, but like your light attack. And so it's just like if you hold it down, his gun will start shooting bullets, and then your heavy attack is Groot like whipping big arm branches out, which the heavy attack works great, but it's slow. So
I mean, I get why they would do that, but yeah, it's still a bummer.
yeah, I wish they would have separated them. That's really the like for what the game is and kind of expecting it to be kind of what it is based on the previous games. That I think is the biggest disappointment so far for me is that Rocket and Groot are the same character.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it does a disservice to both of them to not like
split 'em up.
everybody else has their own character. Why can't they have their own character?
Yeah. Real quick, Kuipers, I want to do a Dragon Quest Builders 2 check-in. How you doing? You still playing that a little
I
bit?
thought you were going to do a
Yep,
Skyrim check.
still.
No.
It's actually been quite a while since I last.
Okay.
not quite as wild.
Don't
Okay,
admit it,
Dragon
but-
Quest.
Dragon Quest,
Still playing?
still playing.
Okay, good.
I'm wanting to finish that game before I even jump into.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you about next.
Yep.
Jump into what?
Did you buy it?
Yes.
The Fire Emblem?
Yes,
4
I
houses?
bought it. I have selected my house, and that's about as far as I've gotten in that game.
Okay, so I've heard that game could be like a long time to beat,
Yeah.
and I heard that it's like I've heard 2 things. I've heard that it can take roughly 80 hours to finish.
That's what I've heard too.
And I've also heard that it doesn't get good till 35 hours in. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, and I don't know what. A lot of times when people say that, they don't mean it's bad for 35 hours. It just means like it really shines. A lot of RPGs are kind of that way. Like it really shines when you get.
Which
this
my
far.
guess is 35 hours in is probably about when maybe the professor stuff it goes into takes a turn of events from it because the starting of the game, you're a professor at a college basically,
And you're just like you're kind of like hanging out.
Yeah, you're
like
kind
you have
of
like a social life, right? You work, you have a schedule, like a monthly
you
or
have a
weekly schedule.
like you try to do activities for the students, like that you kind of oversee, because you're in charge of you're kind of the not quite RA, but like the guy who you're the professor who's kind of in charge of
You're
this
the
house.
cool professor.
Yeah,
that
you're the cool
students
professor who
wanna
kind of
hang
looks
out
after one of these houses.
Yeah. And so you teach though too, right? You teach your classes, and does that affects like the tactic gameplay, like
that kind of like you can like kind of try to train your different like students with different weapon types. So maybe like one of them you'll start to try to like have them learn more magic. Then you may want to teach them like archery as well, or kind of be good at that range, or like you're training him to be a tank, or.
Okay, so is it anything like Advanced Wars?
I haven't actually played the Advanced Wars games before.
Okay. Because I feel like
it's a similar. From what I know of those games, though, it is a similar type of gameplay.
it is like it's tactical.
The
where
tactical.
like you're kind of plotting out your.
Yeah, like you have like kind of the grid.
Okay.
And like you have like your different troops that you like kind of move, and like your phase, then like enemy phase, like they all move everyone, and battle happens, and repeat.
All right. Well, I was very tempted to check that out. Some people I've heard compared to Persona games too. This newer, it's like not normally like Persona, but they're saying this new one has got like I think the social aspect of it.
I could
is
understand that.
kind of
Like
Persona-ish.
people have called it like the best Harry Potter video game.
Okay.
So
All right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, do I pay that tax of $60 to get this and then not like it? Like, I'm a little worried, but you report back to me and tell me if I need to play this game.
Okay, it may be a while because I'm still only on the third island for Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm getting there, I think.
You got a little ways to go then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the game. The other game I started playing, I was going to mention on my phone, is Dota Underlords.
You too.
I wanted to see what this auto chess thing was all about.
I downloaded it too.
Everybody's been talking about it.
I'm not even joking. I downloaded it.
And I played a bunch of it, and I'm not sure I know what I'm doing at all.
I didn't play a bunch of it and deleted it.
Oh, I played a bunch, and I was like, I keep upgrading my characters. I keep getting new characters, and I keep putting them on the chessboard, and I'm winning more than I'm losing.
Oh, I wasn't winning more than I was losing.
I think I'm doing it right, but I don't fully get where I'm going with it. But that's also like playing through the tutorial and then playing against the computer. I have not done a lot of online where it really
takes
gets
forever
heated.
to play a match.
I mean,
well,
it's also,
no, like I mean, there's like rounds and matches, right?
Right.
Like,
so
it's
like the rounds are like 30 seconds or whatever, but the match seems like
It's like
it could
40
take almost
minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
On a phone.
Yeah. I kind of like it though. Is it weird that I like it?
no, I think it's all right.
Okay.
I kind of like it, but I think it was something that it felt like the buy-in for me was like, as far as really picking up on it, was more than I wanted to invest in it as far as time and energy and thought. So
That makes sense.
Like, part of the thing though too is that, like, granted, I've been playing the League version, not the Dota one, but I feel like there's probably a lot of similarities between the two, and it's a lot of just
is that
RNG.
Riot Games?
Yeah, Riot.
Okay.
Yeah, like
That
a lot
is
of
the more popular one I've heard.
yeah, like the thing about it though is that it's a lot of just RNG, like whether you get good rolls or not, of like all the, like, can you upgrade the characters that you're wanting to upgrade?
Yeah.
do you like actually get to keep any of those characters after your match? You don't keep any of them,
No,
right?
like you basically start from square one every single match you play.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to learn more about it. I don't think I fully get what I'm doing, but anyways.
It's okay, I don't either, but I've won twice now.
There you go.
Nice.
You're
You're almost as good at that as I am at playing battle royales.
Ooh, yeah,
Right?
I heard you won a couple
Yeah.
Apex games.
I've won a couple. That's it.
That's pretty good.
I did also this week pick up. I haven't started it yet, but I picked up Cadence of Hyrule, so I'm excited to
Ooh.
give that a try. Especially after your glowing review, Eric.
Hey, that's still. I mean, we haven't got much time left this year for that to
true.
get knocked out of my top 10, which it is definitely sitting in right now. That game was.
I've
stellar.
heard good things. I don't. I just was checking here. Dragon Quest Builders 2. Can that actually count for this year? Since technically,
Absolutely. No, you can't count
was-
Japanese games. Give me a break.
that was Japan. Okay. Never
That's-
mind. I see that now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was released in Japan. I don't speak Japanese.
So what you're saying is I should probably try and play a little bit of this so that I can
So
tell
you
you
can-
why you're wrong.
Yeah, you need to play it solely to just be like, no.
Ugh.
I can't wait for you to try it and go, I hate you, Eric. I've lost half my life to this game. I quit my job. I'm getting divorced. This game is the best. And you were right, and I'm wrong. I can't wait for that moment.
Do it, Kyle.
Just kidding.
I just don't have any money right now.
Gamefly.
So-
You're a Gamefly guy.
That's true. I could Gamefly, but I got a couple that I'm holding on to right now that I don't know how long I'm going to hold on to them.
Yeah.
Because I got Mario Maker and
Oh, yeah. You can throw Wolfenstein
There's
back
more.
in the water. That's
Yeah.
garbage. Just kidding. It's fine. I'm
I just gotta
frustrated with
speed
that
through
game
the
right
rest
now.
of it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you think of if you check out Dragon Quest Builders. You're definitely running out of time to check it
That's
out.
true.
It's like
To be able to discuss it.
Madden's
in-
almost out.
Yeah.
That's your warning shot right there. Once
Wait.
Madden comes out, it's game
Madden.
time. Yeah, every year once Madden releases,
Oh, I see what you're
floodgates
I thought you
open.
were just talking about playing Madden, and I
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
I haven't played a Madden game for like 6 years.
I play a Madden game like every 5 years, so I'm about with you. So.
I picked up FIFA real cheap, and
Yeah.
it's been a staple for me this
Yeah.
year. But
I'm just saying, once Madden releases, that's kind of
that's
for me.
when
That's
everything
the gaming
suddenly is
schedule. The floodgates
hey,
open.
let's
Video
spend some
games.
money on video games.
So yeah, if you want to get any Dragon Quest time in, your time is running out. We have one story we want to quickly cover tonight. I mean, I think it's interesting. If you're a Ninja fan, Hoya, the streamer Ninja, popular on Twitch. Twitch has made his career, everything he is. I mean, obviously, he's a charismatic individual that people like to watch play Fortnite. But he has announced that he is leaving Twitch to stream exclusively, drumroll, on Mixer, Microsoft's streaming service. Now, this is a ballsy move on Microsoft's part to be like, hey, Twitch, we want to make our platform legitimate. We were trying to legitimize Mixer as a place gamers want to go to watch gameplay. We're just going to steal your streamer.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a crazy thing to, I mean, I don't even know. And I just kind of saw the headline. I didn't even see that. I mean, as I read through it, it doesn't show anything that says anything specific about any reason or like
money
payment or
that's
anything.
The reason.
But I mean, like, there's no disclosure of payment. Like, theoretically, his money is all made in advertising, right?
But there's a deal there.
There's got to be a deal, and I think that's the part that's interesting is that Microsoft is saying, "Hey, come play Fortnite on our place," and
there's got to be. Okay, here. He's been a very tactical young man in the way, like, he's been very business savvy in the way he is, the trajectory of his career. Like, he's played it very safe on certain things to maybe his own demise in some ways people haven't liked, but he still seems to be pretty smart about, like, from the business standpoint of it. There is
or
no,
he has a lawyer or an agent that is
whatever.
taking,
But I mean, he didn't in the beginning, right?
He didn't. No.
I mean, he made the decision to stop cursing on his streams to make it a safe, more friendly to family, younger viewers and stuff like that. He made very smart decisions to make him who he is, make him one of the biggest streamers out there. There is no way there is not just a buttload of money on the table for this.
Right.
There's just no way, because he would be leaving. He's leaving not just the money he makes on Twitch from advertisers and all that, but all of the donations and all of that stuff. And he's got a big fan base already built there. So he's got to go and like I mean, I'm sure he's got followers on Mixer, but not probably to the extent that he does on Twitch. He's got to rebuild all of that on a new platform.
And by rebuild, that just means anybody that watches him and that legitimately watches him and cares about it is going to go create.
But if you think about
there.
how fickle, no offense to our Twitch viewers, how fickle Twitch viewers are, and like to get someone connected and to watch you regularly and do that sort of thing, like it's not an easy task. And so I think for him moving to Mixer, like it could potentially like ruin his career. Like if there wasn't this money that I'm sure there is on the table somewhere, or under the table. I don't know where the money is, but it's going to go in his bank account.
But I mean, he's got the right connections too. I mean, that's the other thing. I don't think that you have anybody else out there that has done and gotten the notoriety that he has. I mean, he was on the cover of Sports.
Are you talking about Drake? Is that the
connections? I mean, he had that stream that seemed like that helped him like become the household name that he is. Is by playing video games with Drake. But then, I mean, he's also been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I mean, he is the face of professional gaming. Like,
and it's
as
cool.
far as like a household name,
he's the Tiger Woods of gaming right now.
Yeah,
I think that's the clear. Like when Tiger Woods was like when no one cared about golf, and then all of a sudden everyone cared about golf. That was because of Tiger Woods.
Right.
And I think
I mean, there's large amounts of people that wouldn't have any idea who Dr. Disrespect was, or any of the other people that are like.
But I'm saying from like a mainstream. If you're talking about legitimizing gaming as a sporting event,
this is the guy
he's doing that. And I think when you look at like the kid that won $3 million in this Fortnite competition this week, $3 million. He's 16 years old. He won $3 million. That's more than Tiger Woods just won. When he won the green jacket or whatever. What do they win in golf? A cup? Some sort of a cup? Yeah, that's more. He didn't get $3 million for winning that.
No.
And so, I think ESPN was tweeting about this kid winning this thing, and it's just like, I mean, people don't like it because it's not real sports. But still, I think he's going to bring legitimacy to this as a sporting event.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I was flipping one night a couple months ago, randomly flipping through channels at night, because I still have old man TV, and
that is weird. You still channel surf?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of one of those things. I think I was watching something, and then I was like, well, that's over. What do I want? Or like maybe I'd watch something on my DVR, and the TV was on. It was on TBS, and they were showing some thing that was like a championship for Rocket League. And the way that they package it in as like this half-hour thing that they cut between different matches and show you like the highlights and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's like if you really want to get people engaged, like it's got to be something that's better than the commentary and stuff that you get on those like half-hour shows on TBS.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what this could lead to. I mean, someone like him being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, having ESPN, like any of those like reputable sport type of publications or media companies putting anything out about video games are going to help that professional aspect. And I think it's going to be something that's going to be on the rise. And I think especially you look at like how dangerous we're finding out that games like football are. As much as I love watching football, like I would never want my kids to play football because of the potential danger with that sport. And I mean, I think as we see that, I think that there is going to be a decline in football in general. And I think as that stuff kind of starts to decline, you may have things like this that are going to sneak in and suddenly become a bigger thing because kids today all want to play video games. And if you could win $3 million playing video games, or if you could go out and play in the NFL and potentially like
get a concussion.
I mean, everything with that is so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think for this, it's one of those. It's just the football generation is dying out. It's like anything, right? Like, so you've got this whole new generation of kids coming up. Like, you look at that Fortnite competition I mentioned where the kid won $3 million. All the top placers on that, like Ninja, he didn't even get close to the finals.
Right.
All the top placers were like under 18. Like, it's insane. So, I mean, for one, that points out that I need to get on my son and get him working on that Fortnite skills, get him back on the grind. But it's just
that soccer.
But it's just one of the there's not enough money in soccer
here.
Yeah, not in America.
Yeah. This is America.
But anyways, it's just one of those things where there is a culture shift happening. I mean, people can fight it, but I think we're starting to see it. And I mean, maybe in my generation, maybe before I die, it'll take off.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that interesting aspect of it too, that like there is very much entertainment and competitive sides of video games. And even video game streaming. And I mean, that you highlight it right there. The fact that he didn't even come close to winning that tournament, but he still is the face of professional video gaming.
Yeah.
In the aspect of this guy streams daily to make his living, and he is making plenty of money.
Well, the other side of it is as money goes towards it, as advertisers want a piece of it, and all. You look at like the production values of like an NFL broadcast. Mm-hmm. I mean, even just something as like now that's just an afterthought of them like being able to put the line, the line of scrimmage or whatever on the the virtual yellow line on the field and things like that, where there's these advances made that make it more enjoyable for the viewer and better quality of life type thing.
Yeah,
like a lot of broadcasts of professional gaming aren't great. But this Fortnite competition, though, the production quality was through the roof. The shoutcasters were much more skilled at this than like what you probably saw on the TBS thing, so that brings more legitimacy to it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be for every game. So I don't know.
Well, it sounded like at least the article I think said that he even did some of the commentating for that tournament as well.
Oh, did he?
He did some of the stuff. So, I mean, if you've got somebody like him that playing games and does that for a living, like commentating on what.
Well,
he's
and
playing.
it's funny because that's like usually when an athlete becomes a broadcaster, they're old, and he's like in his 20s, he's already aged out. Like you're an old man, go sit in the broadcast booth and talk about it.
But I mean, you've got a guy like this that I mean, it's a perfect example because the reason that they go and they hire former players is because they want someone who knows the ins and outs of it, the ins and outs of what you're doing, and he's going to be able to find some of that stuff as opposed to finding some guy that just really likes video games, maybe like one of us that really loves video games but doesn't know all the ins and outs of being the best player and just winning consistently in a game like that. So it makes it an easy sell to say, hey, let's put him behind the microphone and it's going to be a lot better than it would have been. So
no, I agree. We'll see where it goes. Kuipers, are you gonna be a famous game person?
Oh, you know me.
All right, I can't wait to see you make lots of money.
I mean, you're still 16, right?
Yeah. Good. Midnight Angel says, "Holy cow, 3 million!" Yes, 3 million.
Yeah.
And then she also goes on to say, "A good way to be able to send your kid to college from winning at Fortnite." LOL. Yes, I think it's a good call. I mean, that's my plan for my kids' college is get good at Fortnite or flip burgers. There's your choices.
Get them those like wrist things that'll help with the carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I don't want them. I want my son loves to build parkour levels in Minecraft. Now, in any type of game that I would want to play parkour in, it is definitely not Minecraft. And he will build these things and then he'll want to do a challenge with me, and I'm like, he's 8 years old, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Your old man dad is gonna try to, and he builds them just so he can beat me.
It's like the jump to and from different,
one little block all the way up in the sky. It starts on the ground, it keeps moving up, and you got all these obstacles and things. And then he'll just be like, "Oh, I win," and I'll watch him mouse and keyboard this stuff, and I'm just like, "What? How are you doing this? I don't even understand it." Like I never thought I would be the guy looking at a kid going, "How are you doing it? Is it witchcraft?" And it's just like
my day, the mouse didn't click that fast.
Yeah, I don't understand.
How do you press that so quickly, son?
We didn't have to jump around when we murdered our demons in Doom.
You just pressed the forward button.
Yeah, it was just it was crazy. So anyways, I get it. It's just, hopefully I'm training him well at this age.
Yeah.
Speaking of old school gaming.
Oh, I was
go ahead, Minecraft. So, no, I'm going to have
where is this Earth beta? It's annoying me that it's in 5 really big cities and I can't play it yet.
Oh yeah. I don't
it's
we're not in
Tokyo,
the big one
Mexico City, Seattle,
Soon.
London.
Have patience.
Soon.
I was going to say though, speaking of old games, the best part of Wolfenstein is going into the arcade and playing the original.
Oh yeah,
that's the best part.
Jeremy threw that picture in there in our Discord.
If you'd like to go join our Discord, just go to our website minutub.com and click on the Discord button.
He's a real jerk about it too. When I asked him what it
free.
Was, if you have to ask, you're too young. No, I knew. I didn't know if it was that or if he was maybe.
Hey, old men have to find their pride in something. All right, if that does it for our show, but we got to thank our lovely and beautiful, talented, gracious, generous Patreon peeps. That's right. These are all the lovely individuals who donate on a monthly basis at patreon.com/minuteintub. They give of their hard-earned cash, and they stick it right in our bank account. And we appreciate them more than we can say. They give us the motivation and the fuel.
Yep.
They're our gamer fuel. They keep us going, and it's why this show is here. We stream because we feel indebted to them. We do really appreciate your support.
Yes.
And if you're interested in, being one of the cool people, head on over to patreon.com/minutub and subscribe at any level today.
Yeah.
You could be up there like God of Atheists or Jay Oliver and bright, shiny Patreon coral.
And you'll get that special channel in Discord that doesn't get
there is a patron channel that, it's only if you want to ask us private questions.
It's a very private channel
right now.
Well,
I mean, they're private with just the people in there, but still, it's pretty. It can get pretty neat in there. Pretty cool, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, come join
our Discord. Well, it's been a lovely time. Maybe Jeremy will be here next week.
Maybe. You never know.
Maybe we'll talk about other things next week. I'm sure.
I really don't like that right underneath me it says his name.
You're Jeremy Holt. You're Jeremy Holt. Everyone knows that you're Jeremy Holt.
He's gone enough that we need to fix that so that we have one for when it's just the two of us.
I was just thinking that as well.
Hey, Kyle, I'd like you to know that the Broncos beat the Falcons 14-10.
Oh, great.
So
nothing better than a preseason win.
Yeah,
in the first preseason game.
They're looking good then.
Yeah,
I mean they're ready to play the foosball.
None of the people that'll be starters in the regular season played.
Yeah.
So,
all right, everybody, we'll see you later.
Trying to play one of those auto chess games again?
No. I was just wondering why you weren't playing the music.
I pressed it.
I mean, yeah. After all the outro conversation was done. Now it's just music. There's no more conversation happening.
Doesn't have to be conversation over the music.
Yeah, it's intended for.
Yeah, but we could just turn the music up louder so that it.
Good night, Midnight Angel.
Good night.
Thanks for watching and hanging in the chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Oh. That rhymes. I'm just gonna talk louder.
Do what you want.
I will. You're a fluffy nincompoop.